what you want is not going to go anywhere. And if you want to know how I know this, well, it's because you're currently alive right now watching this video. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Now, of course, unless you're not able to wake up, that's the only time you should be worried about trying to get your life together. Speaking from experience, what has helped me along my healing journey as I decided to elevate, move forward, and become the best version of myself was to accept there's only so much that we could possibly do. What we want is not going to change. How do I know? Once again, there's only 24 hours in a day, meaning there's only so much that you can do. When you learn what you have control over versus the things that you don't, you can work and exercise in the areas where you have your strengths and then learn and become educated in the areas where you're weak and what you lack. Until you learn to take your time and enjoy the process and build your foundation, you're constantly going to compare yourself. You're constantly going to be overworked. You're constantly going to be overwhelmed, and you're not going to be able to receive the things you want. And if I'm being completely honest with you, that's why it's not working out. In order for you to be in alignment with what you want, you have to be in the same frequency. So mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, howeverly, you have to be able to sustain what it is that you're asking for. A lot of us have goals to be content creators, entrepreneurs, buy a house, buy a car, not realizing that once you get what you want, you have to be able to maintain it. So for example, if your goal is to buy a house, once you get a house, you have to put furniture inside it. So you have to furnish it if it's not already. You have to worry about your HOAs, homeowners, if you know, you know. You have to pay a mortgage. You may have to pay a water bill. You may have to pay electric bill because those things are not usually included. You then have to pay for cable, which is not included. You have to realize there's so many responsibilities that comes with what we're asking for. We don't have to compare ourselves once we realize within our 24 hours, it doesn't look like everybody else's. So if you're going to see people have the things that you want, feel inspired, take notes, admire them, get to know them, see what makes sense to you, take what resonates, leave the rest. But worrying about trying to be something that you're not is not going to help you. Worrying about working yourself and constantly feeling all overwhelmed and uptight all the time is not going to help you. And no disrespect, no shade. Our ancestors, our grandparents, and our parents, they did the groundwork. We're in a time right now where as millennials and Gen Zers, we have a lot more resources. We have a lot more access. And even if you do, even if you don't, you have to work with what you have and you have to be okay with where you are. When you decide to heal yourself, you have to realize you're unlearning so much trauma. You're unlearning abuse. You're unlearning toxicity. You're unlearning lack of communication. You're unlearning lack of commitment. You're unlearning how to not be confident. You're learning how to stand up for yourself. It is a full-time job. Every single day of your life matters. So you have to realize if you grew up in poverty and you no longer want to be in poverty, you have to teach yourself that. You have to learn yourself that. You have to be shown those things. You have to be taught. And learning how to be taught how to do anything takes time. Think about children. When children have to have their tummy time, they are laying on their stomach, they're crying and you're whining, but that's important for their motor skills. Yes, you may feel uncomfortable. Yes, it may be unfamiliar, but as long as you're working towards becoming the best version of yourself, as long as you're learning to impact from the abuse, from the poverty, from the SAs, from the RAPD, from physical abuse, from being hungry, being starving, like whatever it is, whatever your trials and tribulations are, the more you start to realize, okay, you're capable and that you are going to get what you want because you're doing everything that you can. There is no reason for us to be worried because it's 2025 and we've been starting off this year, or if you celebrate the New Year's in January, but if you celebrate the New Year's in April, but as of March, because this is when I'm making this video, let me know when you're watching this. We got to continue to keep this mindset. Like, we're not going back to 2024. Anything that we went through previously is over with. It's over with. There's no reason to keep looking back. If you're going to talk about your past like me, it's from the lessons that you learned and you're moving forward. Other than that, don't bring up people that you're not surrounding yourself with. Stop worrying about how other people are going to see you and perceive you. They don't matter. If people are not contributing into what you want to do, it doesn't matter. Speaking from experience, being an entrepreneur, having multiple businesses, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Healing yourself, like I said, from a certain way of living. And when you're the only person doing it, when you don't have other people in your community, your family, and your friends, you have to realize you're going in a different direction in life. And that's okay. Like, we don't have to rush because our direction in life is not the same as nobody. Yes, I'm not the only person who talks about mental health on this account. Yes, I'm not the only entrepreneur in the world, but nobody is doing it like I'm doing it. Nobody's doing what you're doing the way that you're doing. You're the first person to do that. And I need for us to start letting that sink and marinate. We don't have to rush. We don't have to feel like if we see such and such doing, you're not them. You don't know what they had to get to where they are. I said that twice. You don't know what these people have. You don't know what these people are going through. And not just that, a lot of times, some people may not be as vulnerable. So it's like you can't compare yourself because some people may act as if they don't feel any type of way. We don't know. You really don't know how somebody feels unless they tell you. I'm not telling you guys to come on the internet and talk about your feelings and become doing those things. If you want to, you can, but make sure it's genuine because what you put out, it does come back to you. And you have to realize that. What you put out, it comes back to you. So regardless if you work a 9-to-5, entrepreneur, content creation, beautician, going back to school, getting a house, getting a degree, getting a car, having a baby, starting a family, getting a man, getting a woman, whatever it is, you get $1, you get $1, we get a car, we all get a car. I sound like Oprah, or I sound like one of those people at the auctions. You gotta relax. You gotta slow down, grab the wall. Let me know if you know where that's from. You guys, those songs back in the day, like, she gonna shake it like a red nose. Like a red nose. Okay, you guys, I'm lit, I'm turned, and I'm excited. And you have to realize that it's nothing wrong with being excited. It's nothing wrong with being excited. But we have to realize, okay, if we've been through poverty, if we were homeless, if we don't have love, if we don't have family, if our friends died, if our parents died, like if somebody important to you died, like it's so much that goes into it. And it's like, speaking from experience, the more you can be present, the more you can be practical, the more you appreciate like the progress that you're making, and you stop to compare yourself. You don't have to worry. Like me personally, I don't recommend comparing yourself. The reason why I've never compared myself is because I was installed as an early child who I was. Everyone doesn't have that privilege. That's why I recommend and I speak from my experience. That's all I can do. I don't know everything. I don't need to know everything. And I'm not trying to think I know everything. And you have to realize that you only know what you know. So if people are not willing to unlearn or learn, nobody thinks they know everything. Now, there are some people in this world who are arrogant and they feel like they're better than you. But it's like, if they really were better than you, if they really were smarter than you, if they really did know more than you, they're not going to talk down to you. They're not going to make you feel less than. They're not going to try to compare themselves with you. They're going to learn that, okay, Ty knows what she knows, you know what you know. And like I said, if we're not able to learn from each other, agree to disagree, it is what it is. You don't need to be stressed because, like I said, you cannot get what you want if you're not in the same energy. And if you guys want me to break that down into a separate video about manifestations, let me know by dropping the word manifestation in the comments. But what you want is already yours because you want it. If you didn't want it, it wouldn't want you. But you have to be in the same frequency. Like your mind, your emotions. If your emotions are all over the place, your finances are going to be all over the place. If your mind is all over the place, how you feel is going to be all over the place. If you cannot control mind, body, spirit, and soul because all of it is one, you're going to struggle. And that's what we don't need to be doing. Why are we struggling when we can take our time? Take your time. Take your time and know that it's going to work out for you. As long as you don't stop, it's going to work out for you. The horses don't stop. They keep going. And you guys, my voice has been gone. I don't know if you guys can hear it. My voice has been gone. I have been drinking my tea. Like, that's why I have recently had to take a break, which is also important too. Like, you have to have balance. Don't take that for granted. So it's just like, learn how to have breaks. Learn to work with your schedule. Learn to do what you can. And then, of course, when it gets to this season, when you're able to receive the things you want, you learn to be so grateful. And that's the most important thing. If you can't be grateful for where you are right now, you're not going to be grateful to get the things that you want. Like, before I was able to be an entrepreneur, you guys, I've had so many jobs, but I think one of my favorite jobs was working at McDonald's. I worked the morning shift from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I was grateful. And I know people that have complained, I don't like my job, da, 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 da. I'm just like, now as an entrepreneur, speaking from experience, and they know in like real life, okay, like, I'm just like, how do you want to be an entrepreneur? You want to be a CEO, but you can't even wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and get to your job on time. If you can't wake up to go to a job that you hate, that's temporary, how you gonna wake up? And because as an entrepreneur, people don't want to tell you this, and I'm not trying to get too far. But like, this is you guys getting to know me a little bit. We work a lot more than employees because we employ the people. Like, people don't understand that. People think that when you get money that you're gonna get out of survival mode. Rich people still have to survive, you guys. Like, surviving and survival is staying alive. Whether you have $2 or you have $2 trillion, surviving is you staying alive. Now, of course, when you have more finances, you're able to sustain and you don't have to worry. But the more money that you spend, the more money you make. Like, surviving is when you continue to live or exist in spite of danger or hardship. Like, a lot of people do not understand what survive is. You have to remain alive. Everyone has to survive unless you want to die. Trigger warning, okay? That's a different topic. The ending is now getting personal, but I love you guys. I want us to stop stressing ourselves out. I want us to stop being overwhelmed and worked out because it's no point. And I'm telling you guys from experience. So if you guys have questions, comments, and concerns, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I think the next video is going to be about this short that I just made about being proud of yourself, but DM me on Instagram. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok as well. All my social medias will be down in the description box below. If you're interested in a service or a session, you can head to my website at tyguidance.summer.com, and I'll be going live on Instagram and TikTok until we reach our goal here on YouTube, which we will soon. Let me know in the community section as well. Make sure you guys are engaging, liking these videos, and turning on your post notifications. And don't be afraid, don't be shy because you watched the video all the way to the end. Like, you have to be very intentional about what it is that you focus on, and know that as long as you're doing what you need to do, everything is going to work out. Okay, love you guys. See you later. Bye.